day is quickly approaching. These girls are weeks, less than some of them even just days from calving. We're getting ready for that. We're gonna set up the pen. We're gonna show you the barn that we do most of our calving in. And later today, we're gonna move these girls up because I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I'll be going down to Houston for the National Cattle Beef Association Farm Show. And so that's in a couple days. So we gotta get things ready just in case one of these calves while I'm gone. That's February 1st through the 3rd. Last year, our first calf was February 3rd. So it's possible that something happens while I'm gone. Really exciting. Let's get things going. Might even be next video we'll have a calf already. We'll see. If you're new here, my name is Cole Sonne. We farm in southeastern South Dakota. Raise beef, of course, corn and soybeans. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Sit back, relax, maybe hit that subscribe button. Let's do a little farming. Threaded the needle. That guy was looking a little droopy. I'm kind of surprised he was looking that way because it's been so far out from weaning, and they've just been a great group. Just this one guy slipped through, I guess.
Temperature changes, wild fluctuations.
Fluctuations.
Yeah.
Weird looking cow. The day's coming in about a week. We gotta get these girls moved home because it's almost calving season. Got the purlets spread out. It's a trap. So we gotta get this bale feeder, that freestanding panel, and that windbreak over in that region. We also need a green gate. Gonna get all this, try to get all this hay out of there. During the night, all the heifers are in the big loafing area. Got a couple things we got to move. When things calve, we move them into this kind of secondary, smaller area. And if we have trouble, we got 5 10 by 10 pens right there. And sometimes they get full. I know last year I went on a trip, hang out with some college buddies, and in about 36 hours, 14 heifers calved. And Dad was doing it all by himself, and it was kind of sucky. Well, they got water right there. In the morning we kick them out, and they eat all day and poop out here where the sun can get at it. And that's kind of what we keep doing. And so then as those calves get a couple days on them, we load them up in our livestock trailer and bring them to different building sites. It's kind of a smaller part of a pasture that they got some buildings, some trees and wind protection, and they hang out there until springtime when the grass is green and tall, and we can bring them out to pasture. Hi.
Hello. I got a story to tell. You should see his look, people. So the song of the day today, because he passed away recently, is Meatloaf, Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. And when I was a youngin' in high school, I reckon that song, it kind of took you there. It was like a story. It was like a journey. that you can put yourself there, and I like songs that are a story. And thank you, Meatloaf, for doing that. Very enjoyable. Yep.
Sweetloaf.
No, Meatloaf.
Ellie's excited. She says, "Give me that placenta. I want to chew on it and bring it into the garage."
Yeehaw.
So we got another spot kind of like this, connected to the back end of that white building, where we put that new concrete late this fall. We'll get that one ready. It'll be real simple. Really excited about calving back here this year. Dad and I poured this concrete, made it a lot nicer area. It used to get really muddy back here during early spring, late winter when we're calving. But now they got a big, probably 40 by 20 slab of concrete they can stand on during the day when they're eating. We also put about 10 loads of clay in here. It slopes really nice, water going that way. And so when the cows are walking to the end to get into the barn, they're hopefully going to be on some somewhat solid stuff. We made a lot of improvements this year, and hopefully we can reap the benefits of that. So those bred heifers that are calving in about a week, we're going to chase them up. They're in their pen over there. We're going to chase them up into here. And then they're going to be eating here. We got these gates open so they can go up there and drink. We're doing that because they have spent a lot of time, many months in that pen, and we don't want them to poop it all up. Are you guys excited for calving? I'm sure some of you have maybe started calving already. Our neighbor down the road, they probably got 10 on the ground already.
They don't have much to say for themselves. I think those two cows over there have a lisp.
I think they're stoopy.
I think they have a lisp. You know why? So I can hear them slurp.
They got a perfectly good drink hole right here, but they lick it off the ground.
That's natural for cattle.
That reminds me of that one time someone commented, "I bet you wouldn't like to eat your food off the ground," because we were feeding some cows on some corn stalks on the ground.
Tell you what, that's natural for them. They spend their whole life eating off the ground. Have you ever heard of grass? You know where grass is?
Don't tell me it grows on the ground. By gum.
By gum, by gosh, spaghetti. Before we move on to the next thing, I want to address something. We just got done preg checking cows a little bit ago, or a couple weeks ago. That's when we check if they're bred, get rid of the open ones because they're not going to have a calf. But there's one other thing that we take into consideration when we're culling cows. And this other thing is pretty similar to the hot and crazy scale, which is used by men and maybe women when they're trying to find suitable people to date and or marry. And so let's go over this real quick. Okay, so you got a sort of graph here. Down here we can write crazy, and over here we write hot. Now this is different for everybody, but there's a sort of imaginary line right here. And so when you find
someone you may like to date or marry, you got to ask yourself, how hot to crazy are they? And so if you find someone like my girlfriend, per se, she's really hot, beautiful is a better word for her, and just a little bit crazy. So she's over here, well above the hot, crazy divider line right here. Where you go to, let's say, a truck stop and you find a lot lizard, she might not be that crazy, but she also might not be that hot. She could be crazy, who knows? But that person would then be below the line, so you don't want to keep them around. Now for cattle, we can use the same thinking. So right here, we put quality of calf, all right? And for here, we could maybe keep crazy, or just, how angry and hard to tag they are because they attack you. So you'll have, your younger cows where you don't know yet, so you gotta wait, or maybe you got your older cows, and you'll just have this one that raises an amazing calf, but she is just doggone ornery. And so it's not worth getting attacked and getting injured. So she's got a good calf, but she's pretty angry, and it's hard to tag her calf, so you get rid of her. And so that's just kind of one thing we keep in mind. So here's a little bit of my welding project. This is just the frame. There's going to be some stuff coming out off the front. And eventually that mount will be on here. And it's going to be a nice tool used for, we'll talk about that later. But we're just going to weld this up. I did the frame yesterday. I got to weld these two middle parts in right now. We'll continue with that next week after I get back from Houston, and of course we'll be calving, so we'll just be spending a lot of time out here waiting for stuff to calve and making sure everything's all right, and I can work on that welding project. Last thing we want to do, once those heifers have cleaned up their bunks, we're going to chase them down to where they're going to be for the next couple months while they calve. It's breezy, but only 30 degrees, so it's kind of warm. Be pretty tough getting them out of here. We'll see what happens. We got nowhere without attempt. These silly things. That pen is weird shaped, and they wanted to be in that corner. It would not for the life of them go to that gate, that first gate we opened, but they got through right there. So now Dad's gonna post up right here. I'm gonna open the next gate, and we're gonna try to make them take 90-degree angle to the right. Excuse. So these girls, like I said, will be able to go in this pen and the pen back there. We're feeding them back there just so they poop less in here because they're going to end up being in here a long time. This Monday when I take off, fly to Houston, if anything happens, they'll be up close and Dad can deal with it a little bit easier. So today is the 26th of January. We're anywhere from 5 days to maybe 12 days out. We always look at, Ellie, leave her alone. We always look at the bags. If they start bagging up, meaning they're getting big, filling with milk, that means they're getting close to calving. Just walking behind them. None of these. This girl right here has the biggest bag that we've seen. Yep, 074. But there still is not much, just kind of some empty teats, not a tight bag. So we got a good week, I would say, at least. But guys, stay tuned, it won't be long. Hope you enjoyed today's video. We'd love to see you next time. Hang out with you for calving season, and then right after calving season, it's the really busy season of planting, rolling, tilling, fertilizing, and then hang, and then harvest, and then we make it full circle again. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bless you.